Let's see here. Uh, all right, we have been going for 27 seconds, 30 seconds. This is, whoa, that's my finger. All right, we are streaming horizontally today because I have a new little contraption. Here, let's, oh, look, we have all, ooh, I have two viewers. Oh yeah, Minnie Mouse ears. Hello, folks. These are my famous space buns. This little curl wanted to come out and say hello. So hello. Getting the little camera situated because we are streaming horizontally today. We are in landscape mode, as one should be when you're filming, unless you're doing some weird scene where it has to be like someone's on their iPhone, some Soderbergh sex lies videotape style. Um, Although I'm remembering another movie where they incorporated, I mean, a lot of movies these days incorporate, you know, like you're filming on your iPhone or you're just looking at YouTube or whatever. Chuck, horizontal, my favorite position. Oh my God. All right. Hello, Andy. Hello, Jim. Hello, Chuck. Hello, Sydney. Let's see how our volume. Oh my God, we have 5 viewers. We're just exploding into being. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you see me in landscape? Right. I am horizontal. Right. Is that? Are we looking good? Volume okay. Microphone okay. Welcome to the Sacred Spheres. I am Anastasia. Hello to all of the beautiful people who are here right now. We are now unfolding in week 3 of a constant live stream of Palooza that we keep doing, and I'm loving it. I'm in between jobs at the moment, though this is also a job. But I know what my schedule is going to look like moving forward. We will absolutely have a hump day experience every week on Wednesdays because those are fun. Hump, hump, bump, bump in the night. Horizontally, my favorite position, yes. Okay, Chuck. Good to see you, Jim. Yes, you can see. So here we are, and it's Manic Monday, and right, it's just another Manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday. Well, I don't have to run day. It's just another Manic Monday. Andy's eyes are burning now. Oh shit. Hi. Why are your eyes burning? Happy Monday to everyone. This is our happy hour for community, and this is for questions and answers. This is for AMA. Ask me anything. It's just another fun day where I don't have to run day. Thank you, Bengal. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Joyce, to whomever is here. Right? Thank you. Very happy to see you all. And yes, so this is a happy hour where somewhere, someone in the world is happy, even if it's not you or me. I am so used to this being in portrait mode. I feel very strange being this way, but oh, you, Andy, he said, we love you, Anna, don't we, gang? He's calling me Anna. Oh my God. Only folks when I was a little kid would call me Anna. My ex would call me Anna. A lot of people call me Stas. A lot of people have called me Nastya. If you're, that is a short form for Anastasia. Jim, he's saying it has not been a fun day for him, right? As we were saying, this is a happy hour. Doesn't mean that we are necessarily happy. Hopefully, this will elevate our spirits a wee bit. If you care to share anything, Jim, about what's happening, let us know. We're here for support. We're here for a community. Ms. Jackson. Oh, yeah, there's no pressure to share anything. I am not a certified therapist. I am a certified dream tender. I work with deep imagination. I do have certain psychic gifts. I also have lots of training in literature, the arts, and in the Hollywood entertainment industry. Oh, I'm a trained singer, although sometimes it doesn't look that way. I posted a video a cappella today. Why? I don't know. I was sad today, Jim. There was sadness. Sadness. That's okay. It's happy hour. I wanted to finish the rest of the Sideways Merlot. I don't have any Pinot Noirs. Sorry to, to those who want a more sophisticated, full-bodied wine, or at least fascinating. That's okay. Cheers. Happy, happy, joy, joy. So, three Colts walk into a bar, and all of them pinpoint me, and they have a radar going for a bullseye right here. And why is that? Sydney loves Merlot's. Cheers. Okay, here's an interesting thing because oh, that's what's happening. Okay. I don't often film horizontally, and I had no idea. It looked like my chat was just disappearing, but it is right here. Okay, so Jim, you said you were. What was that? I don't know. Andy, your choir teacher said you had a perfect pitch voice. I don't have a perfect pitch voice. You need to sing. Sideways Merlot goes so well with horizontal. That's a great pun. Chuck, I need to have you back on here. I need to have you either Wednesday or Friday or just ASAP. Copy that, Jim. You said that I was sad today. I was about to tangent into my story about three walking into a bar, but we'll put a pin in that. Yeah. Yeah, when you go through a breakup, they say that you need to take 3 weeks of zero contact with your ex, sort of like the no contact rule, they say. So today marks the 22nd day after 3 weeks of no contact at all. So and it's like, okay, now what? They say it takes 3 weeks to break a habit. It's like, so yeah, radio silence. Yeah, I went radio silent. So did he. Uh, and Andy said he's not had an ex. He's had his parents in his life. Yeah, it can be challenging having an ex and not knowing how to navigate that. And sorry, I'm still 5 years old trying to figure out how to use my phone. Yeah, yeah, it's like it's day 22. Do I unblock him? Do I talk to him? Neither apparently. Okay, sorry folks. All right, let's do this. All right. So yeah, so I sang a heartbreaking song and posted it. Actually, I posted it on Instagram with the original track. It's I was watching Nine Perfect Strangers. Thanks to this ex, actually, I have Hulu access. Woot woot! I still have it until he takes me off of Hulu. Don't do it. Not yet. I like it. But yeah, Nine Perfect Strangers. There is a song by the Gabriels called "Loyalty." It's from an EP. Something I'm blanking. It's a nice long title. Something like "Love and Hate." I don't know, something about life and involves all sorts of things all over the spectrum of emotions of love and hate. But the song Loyalty, it also is on Industry, which is on HBO. But yeah, I was yeah singing that. Sorry. Okay, let me go back to the what is going on in the chat. Hold on. Andy likes my laugh and his mustache. Okay. Sorry. Wait, what's going on? Why is this? Uh, I have no idea what's going on. Someone's getting blocked. No one's getting blocked. We are. Oh, probably. Oh, I was mentioning my ex was blocked. I think he blocked me too. We were mutually blocked. So, yeah, it's just one of those days. But it's a good day in the neighborhood, right? Won't be my neighbor. So fun fact, I was about to say, Lyric Hyperion is an amazing comedy venue near me, and the Lyric Hyperion I think it's called Four Colts Walk Into a Bar. And oh yeah, speaking of someone being blocked, Andy's sinuses are blocked. Someone's a blockhead. Oh my god. Okay, you guys are. Well, speaking of comedy, you guys are bringing it. Thank you for making me laugh. But yeah, there is this show called I think it's called Four Colts Walk Into a Bar. There's been something about me, maybe because I'm very giving and very generous. I often give too much of myself, and as a result, I think people smell that a mile away. And when they start to approach my general direction, there's something how they like try to rope me into their little game. I cannot tell. I think I have almost been involved in 7 MLM, multi-level marketing companies. Whoops. There's, oh, because I'm a great salesperson. I'm very performative. I'm very kind and empathetic and open-hearted, and I present myself well. And I like to just show up. I like to be gregarious and like open and zany. And I probably said open, open. I'm too open. Close that book. Close those legs, lady. But I even it's, I, oh, I was in line at a Starbucks years ago, and oh my God, I go to Starbucks. Actually, my first job was at a Starbucks. It was actually a great job. Did you know that they rotate you? Like when you're at here, the cashier, when you are the cashier, then they ask you like with I don't know an hour, are you guys doing okay here? Are you okay? Do you want to move to the coffee bar? Okay, when you're at the coffee bar and you're pulling shots, you want to move from pulling shots to cleaning the floor, or maybe you want to move to just the wand. It's they're actually very considerate. I don't know how they are now. It's a radically different company than when I was growing up and had my first job. But anyway, long story short, I was once in line at a Starbucks, and the man in front of me, who I thought was Jude Law, and my whole speaking of crushes, holy crap, celebrity crushes, like my whole insides felt like like molten jello lava. I was starting to hello get warm and start to become Gumby. And It was not. It was someone who looked just like him. But I started to go out on a date with this guy, but it wasn't a date. He just saw me and wanted me to be a part of his multi-level marketing company selling some type of like it was speaking of coffee, it was like it wasn't really coffee. It was one of those medicinal mushroom blends, that everyone's into before people were really into them. And they weren't very prevalent. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and it was one of those things I didn't know how to get out of it. And I'm so nice that I ended up spending like I don't even know $300 to like buy the startup kit for using and just give it away to people, and then just try to like sneak away out of this guy's life. Oh, Jude Law guy, that was a moment in time. Any of you get involved in MMs like Mary Kay or there are a lot of them out there right now. Actually, there's some Beauty Counter, is that the name of it? There's some actually really good companies that are MLMs, but yeah, they're a little bit a little bit questionable and suspect. No one really makes money unless you're at the top of it's a pyramid scheme, unless you're at the top of the pyramid. Like Scientology. I think in some past life, I signed a contract because when you join Scientology, apparently you sign a contract and it's a once the Be Like Boy year contract, meaning because they believe in reincarnation. That time you come back, they still have power over you. Because I swear, everything I do in life, like my last job, I secretly was last job, sorry, 2 jobs ago, it was run by ArcLight was run by Scientologists. I can say that now. They don't exist anymore. I mean, they might come back into being. But if our uniforms wasn't proof enough, or the portholes like on a ship, like Sea Org, yeah, if that wasn't clue enough. I don't know if they're currently still in the organization. I would assume they are because you can't really get out of it. But when I was a nanny in Paris, they were Scientologists. When I worked at a little supplement store at Hollywood and Vine, across the street was a major hub for the Church of Scientology, and they would come in and buy stuff from us. It's like, what did I do in a past life to keep these people coming at me? I mean, L. Ron Hubbard is a very recent phenomenon, He only died, I think, why are we talking about this? What I want to know. Any of you accidentally get involved in a cult? Any of you accidentally get involved in an MLN? Are my I missed apparently a horse joke. Okay, sorry. I missed a horse joke. Are my jaws hurting laughing from your horse joke? Well, of course. If you run in a running jacket, smoke in a smoking jacket, what do you do in a windbreaker? You pass gas, probably. Oh, man. I wanted to go on a date with Jude Law guy because he looked like this celebrity. Not really. Jude Law is just a pretty handsome man. Did you know, in fact, that Law, it was very challenging for him to get roles because of how attractive he was, because it really pigeonholed him in terms of being typecast. And that part of him, I was listening to some interviews with him, he couldn't wait to get older and to age a bit. Why did I put that in quotes? I mean, to, just to get a little bit more old man in his face. And he finally got to a point where he felt more comfortable with being on camera to take roles that weren't just making him like the talented Mr. Ripley, the golden boy. So he really is hot stuff. And he's also quite intelligent and hilarious. Has anyone seen I Heart Huckabees? Yeah, he was really unexpectedly great in that. He is a blast with Iron Man. But he's a special human being. He really. Oh well, Gattaca. That really sticks with me. That movie. Uma Thurman, Ethan Hawke, Gattaca. Oh my gosh, I have a story about Ethan. So why am I wearing my glasses? By the way, I don't know. Maybe I'll put them like this today. Hi, I'm a movie star. Not really. Cheers. By the way, I don't know anyone. Let's see. I know last time Andu. I'm continuing with the Merlot trend. I do some water. I just took a nice long walk, so I feel very meditative today. Normally, I'm quite manic in my energy. I don't have today. This is just another mellow Monday. I wish it were Tuesday when I could eat tacos with Whimsy and Chuck. Whimsy and Chuck on Oracle Whimsy Taco Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific. They have an amazing live stream. I hope you enjoyed Chuck's live stream earlier. He's an extraordinary old Hollywood expert. But all right, he is with the cherry Pepsi. Yeah, no, I wanted to mention an experience I had with Ethan Hawke. So his directorial debut was of the movie Blaze, about Blaze Foley. It was shot in this beautiful sepia tone. It was actually it was quite a trenchant film. It had a lot of unexpected depth and grit to it. It's about I guess you would say, a folk rock Americana blue type of a singer songwriter, similar to Townes Van Zandt. So if anyone's familiar with Townes Van Zandt and that kind of era, he was a contemporary and had a bit of a tragic life. Whatever. Ethan Hawke, he actually has some great videos on YouTube talking about the creative process, and I believe there's one recently. I just paused for a sec. It was with not John Oliver, no, Stephen Colbert, and it went viral, and it was him talking about what happens when we die. It just goes there. It's like, all right, you do that, Ethan. He is quite philosophical. So I don't know if anyone saw First Reformed, and that is an extraordinary film by the man who wrote Taxi Driver. Oh, hi, Jim. You don't know what to say. We're grateful you're here, Jim. We are happy to create space, and like in Wicked, we're holding space. But no, seriously, we are a community. I was thinking about you guys because I literally put in my Minnie Mouse buns just for you. But yeah, okay. So Ethan Hawke, around the time when First Reform came out, if you haven't seen it, well, it's about eco-terrorism. It's about Ethan Hawke playing a priest at a church called First Reformed, and it's surrealistic. It's quite fascinating. I definitely recommend it, but it has an unexpected, very violent, and also very sexual twist to it. So be warned, it's not as Tarantino-esque as Bad Times at the El Royale, but it's something else. But it's a very good film. I really liked it, actually. It's a bit experimental. I was down. And around the same time as when Ethan Hawke's movie, it was a little bit after the fact, but around the same time, that's when Blaze came out. And again, that was Ethan Hawke's first film as a director. He was very much a noob to the whole thing. It was his, again, directorial debut, and he didn't know what he was doing. He admitted this because I got to do a Q&A with him to help promote him at ArcLight Cinemas Hollywood and the Cinerama Dome. And it was a blast to be able to help him out with this, except that when I showed up to work for my turn to help with the Q&As for Blaze, I show up and I realize that Ethan had no handler, no agent, no wrangler, no nothing, no assistant, no journalist, no for a Q&A. There was no one. It was just him and me. And that doesn't happen ever. It was very, very strange. And I don't know. I just had to kind of talk to him what he wanted, and I had a specific vision of what needed to happen, as of course is the case. I have to communicate with the projectionist, make sure timed accordingly. I have to put out little chairs, and it's not that big of a deal, but it's a little bit of timing when you turn on the mic and when you hand it to the moderator or the talent or whomever. You have to, some of them want mic stands, room stands, things like this. And I quickly found out that Ethan was very much in director mode and telling me what to do mode. And I had already seen the movie. I was aware that there was an credits. Actually, it was kind of a during the credit scene. So after the movies, or as the credits roll, there is a scene there, and that's when I get out and put, get the mics ready and going. And Ethan was like, no, do not do that. I don't want you out there right now because there's a scene. And I said, thank you for reminding me. I have seen the movie. I know when it ends. And also I need to be able to put these mics. Normally I will even crawl out on my hands and knees so that I'm not, because I want me to block any of the scene as I'm walking out there with my shadow. It's dark. It's a movie being projected. Well, anyway, I wanted to honor his widow agent. There's no one there. There's no, again, handler, assistant, no one, just him. So, and I wanted to respect him. So I listened to him, even though I knew that that's not what I needed to do. I needed to do my job. Well, in the end, the lights come on and he walks out there and I'm like running out to give him his microphone, but he just starts talking and embarrasses me in front of the entire sold out audience saying, well, apparently I have you a microphone here. Apparently you just got to scream above the crowd. And I was on my hands and knees. I turned his microphone on and I'm like, here you go. I was like, what are you doing, dude? It's like, I can't believe he did that. It was so rude. He was nice-ish otherwise. It was very awkward though. But he explained, I think what happened, it's his first time directing. And that was honestly the perfect representation of kind of everything that happened when he was directing that movie, because he said he didn't know what he was doing. He was on such a tight budget, he fired his script supervisor. And the script supervisor is the person who is responsible for all of the notes for, like, okay, we did like 10 takes of this one scene, the third take is the best, or like they do all the notes for everything. And he fired that person for some reason, thinking it was kind of a position. And then when it came time to edit the movie, the editor was like, well, where are the scripts? The script supervisor is like, we don't have any. We fired her. And the editor's like, oh my God. So yeah, he told the School of Hard Knocks and learning the hard way, which is honestly the best way you learn things in life, is just by doing things. So a part of this channel that I have here is kind of self-help. It's, when life, like recently, when it just like hits you into the ground, like I lost my job and boyfriend within 5 days of each other. I met my guy March 2023 and got my job April 2023. And then May 25th, he left me. May 29th, left me. I was like, what the hell is going on with my life? So when stuff goes like that, it puts to the test all the things that I've learned. I've been, geez Louise, in and out of therapy, doing self-help, reading, getting certificates, getting educated myself in these ways. I've learned so much over a really intense life, including being raised in an ethnic community. A lot of cults always trying to find me, like there's like a bullseye on my head for different groups of people. Yeah, because there's a vulnerability in me and a willingness to be open to the world, and also a need to learn really, really, really difficult things, and put my learnings almost immediately into practice. And what's interesting is that's what, like there are times where it's just like, I've sung most of my life, but I'm not good at music production or sound engineering, but I just want to keep singing, and I'm just going to put a video of myself singing. I don't know how the hell to do it. I'm just gonna put my, this is a microphone. Yeah, I'm just gonna sing. And but now we do have, like, I actually did put a accompanying track to my voice on Instagram, so it doesn't sound so strange and isolating. Just my embodied voice singing, but you just do it. Andy Warhol's famous thing, just put yourself out there. Just do art. Just throw out an art piece. And while people are trying to figure out whether or not it's good, you're already busy doing another piece of, and then another piece of work, and then more art and more art and more. Just keep going. As Oscar Leon says, just show your work. It's so much of us don't want to show things until they're really, really perfected. And I understand that. There are some people, like, maybe they only have 5 videos on their channel, and each one is so curated and so expertly done, and so extraordinarily edited, and maybe really like 50 minutes long, but it's with all these clips and jump takes, and it's this work of art, and that's extraordinary. I feel like I would do anything if I were just constantly putting things out there. And I say this because this is the kind of content that Ethan Hawke now creates and speaks to, if you do follow him online at all, and what he put into practice that day, where it felt a little rude to me, but it's, you have to have a thick skin on set, and we were trying to flow with it. We were on set. I mean, I've never, even with itsy bitsy films, we would have more than one person, on stage. I don't know if anyone saw the movie Her Smell. Okay, that is a movie. It's in the life of Courtney Love, the grunge rock star who was once married to Cobain, who had Frances Bean Cobain. That movie, Elizabeth Moss, speaking of Scientologists, newsflash, she's a Scientologist. Very nice. I did work. We did one of the, we did Q&As for one of the seasons of Handmaid's Tale. She's very professional. I guess I'll put it that way. She's very good at what she does, and tries to be as sweet and lovely as possible as well. But there's an intensity behind her, for sure. She plays some very, very intense roles, like Invisible Man, right? Wasn't that the name of that? It was like one of the last movies right before the pandemic hit. But, oh my goodness, I was on a little roll there. I just lost my train of thought for a second. Let's see here. Talking about content creation and Blaze Foley, Ethan Hawke, Her Smell, Elizabeth Moss. Yes, found our train of thought. That is a fascinating film. It is a film, it's not for everyone. It would be akin to Darren Aronofsky's Mother. Definitely not a film a lot of folks like. So, meaning a very, very visceral movie. I think of the synesthesia. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with synesthesia. It's where senses get blended. And even to the extent, like, when kids, they often have this where they are learning their numbers or telling time, and or they're, for some reason, the number 5 is read to them. Whenever they think of 5 or they see the number 5, it's like a explosion of red or a particular feeling. It's similar in literature. There's a term called onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a fun word that describes when you're using words like the golden texture crunched in the sunlight, and you use sort of words that creates the texture, kind of like, again, almost like a synesthetic experience, a blending senses. So that is happening to me in Mother as well as in Her Smell. But the thing with Her Smell, it's largely 3 act. Well, I mean, most films are 3 acts, but it's largely 3 acts. Okay. It's 3 acts. But when it starts and going into the second act, there is such frenetic insanity. There is a level of intensity that is almost unparalleled. You are in absolute chaos. She is in this drug infused, alcoholic kind of maelstrom of all of her demons, of her bandmates, of her partner person, of It's just this chaos. And the way that they shoot it, long tracking shot, and people coming in, out, in, out, in, out, get on stage, get off stage. How's you going to get on stage? It's just complete, and it's so loud. The way they do the sound design, it's just like you can hear like her teeth gritting. And every sound is amplified and escalated, and they basically put you into the headspace of this grunge rock star in this all women band who is having a breakdown of a sort and needs to go into rehab. And you are for 2 acts in so much cacophony, similar to if you saw again Aronofsky's Mother. It builds, that starts smaller, and then at the end it just whoosh, comes back to like the seed nation to kind of, you could think, repeat the cycle again. So with her, again, it's sheer chaos. Act one, act two, and then all of a sudden, bam, she goes into rehab, and it pivots to this sound where you could hear a pin drop, a penny drop. It's so quiet, and you realize that you've been like this the whole time watching the movie, and you suddenly can breathe. So it's a type of really grips you. So if you're in anxiety, don't see it. I actually saw it on a date. I did. That was an interesting movie to take someone on a date to. And it was overwhelming to the senses, but a very interesting experience. And I mention this because even that movie, with its budget, and it was very much a passion project. There was the director, there was a writer, there were a bunch of people who showed up to help facilitate the Q&A, including the guy's closest friend who did the Q&A as the moderator instead of a journalist. It was, drumroll please, I just forgot his name. It was one of the Coppola family. Sorry. It was Jason Schwartzman. Speaking of, isn't he in I Heart Huckabees as well? Obviously, Wes Anderson fame. Rushmore. A lot of fun that movie was. A little creepy, though. Definitely a little cringe, for sure, which was a word I wanted to use. Sometimes I get cringe I cringe at musicals. But, and here we are talking about Her Smell, which is very much a musical, just about grunge rock. But yeah, Jason Schwartzman was the moderator for Her Smell for the Q&As we did. And he was a hoot. And you know that it was pre-pandemic because I was waiting, as you do, for the movie to end. And as the credits roll, that's when I make sure all the chairs are good, the mics are there and turned on and ready for the, for the talent and, the whole panel of people. And I 10-4 copy, talk to the projectionist, get everything going. And I was in the wings right about ready to introduce Jason and the whole team for Her Smell. And Jason said, my breath stinks. Anastasia, do you have anything for my breath? And I said, actually, I do keep gum in my pocket. I literally had a loose piece of square gum put in my pocket. I was like, here you go. And the dude put it in his mouth. Jason put it in his mouth. That was, yeah. And then a few months later, COVID. So maybe he was patient one. Or rather, I was, and I gave him. Anyway, I have neglected the chat. Let's see. Thank you, by the way, to anyone who's here. Thank you for being your beautiful self, no matter what you're going through, no matter if you're happy or not. We're having a happy hour, knowing that there's someone in the world happy somewhere, even if we're not. But we're here to engender some joy, have fun. Joyce, Chuck, Jim, Sydney, Andy, Jason, Pam. I don't know who's here. Who's here? Let's see. Let's look at the chat. All right. Sydney. All right. Oh boy. Yeah, I made some raunchy jokes there. Jude Law, again, very hot stuff. Sorry, we're going back to Jude Law. Andy was going to be right back. Let's see here. Yeah, Jim doesn't have anything to say. Oh my gosh, Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Yeah, Saved by the Bell. She was your celebrity crush. Yeah, she was a cutie pie. Oh, Nev Campbell, another emo cutie pie. Well, I wouldn't say another. I wouldn't say that Tiffany was emo. Shannon Doherty, Holly Marie Combs, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ethan Hawke. We've talked about his brilliance and awkwardness, how he just pushes through anyway. Even, I mean, the dude is a celebrity, obviously has some money, and even he was awkward in promoting his movie. Um, Sandra Oh, I was talking about Sandra Oh. Uh, with Sandra, wait, Sandra Oh. I don't believe Sandra Oh was in Everything Everywhere All at Once. I mean, it was a very strongly Asian cast, of course. Michelle Yeoh was the lead, along with yes, um, oh my goodness, Kei Kwan, who got the Oscar. He won the Oscar. Uh, and her smell. Is that a movie about a Taco Bell bathroom, a one-man show? It could be, yeah. Let's see here. All right. Andy is definitely on a roll today. He is cracking the jokes. Oh my God. You actually mentioned Tanya Harding. You meet Tanya Harding and Courtney Love. Um, did anyone see I, Tanya? That was the movie about Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan, in which Margot Robbie played Tanya Harding. Unbelievable movie. That was also very good. One of the strongest movies that year. Oh, thank you for the heart, Sydney. Joyce is saying hello. Uh, Nobody's really talking. You're engrossed in my stories. I am in a very interesting space. Yeah. Do you guys like the Manic Monday energy of Anastasia? Like, so excited. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Or, this is Mellow Anastasia. Yeah. Oh, we love you, Jim. So much love. A lot of people sometimes they're not comfortable with folks saying I love you, or they don't, or they want folks to say I love you and they don't hear it enough. I think the problem with my ex is I told him I love you too much, and he didn't. That made him actually uncomfortable. We're all different, so sorry if I make anyone comfortable with my love. You are loved. I like to feel loved. I love you. I'm remember I've kind of always aspired to be Alma. I don't know if you know Alma is the woman who has such pure energy. When you hug her, it transforms your life. Or I have more inner work to do probably to radiate that kind of love. Or I have some good energy when I'm present. Or the female Mr. Rogers, who has a heart of gold, a whore with a heart of gold, because it's a message that's more for adults and less for children. But it's a message that is very childlike. I love you, you love me, or no, we're happy family. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to learn some Mr. Rogers songs. I get my own songs. How about that? A horror with a heart of gold. I have I've been doing a satirical series about dating. Some of them are not as funny as others. Some of them I think are hysterical. People don't realize I'm being funny and they're taking them seriously. I'm like, no, this is satirical. This is a very dark sense of humor I have. But Liz here, making herself known. I want to acknowledge Joyce. Thank you for being present. You just got back from the association's annual meeting. Welcome back, my darling. Um, Andy says a lot of girls don't want to be seen with him. Well, we are being seen with you online virtually, so we know you exist. Michelle Yeoh, a extraordinary woman, obviously in Wicked. Her whole career has blown up because of Everywhere All at Once, although she's always been around. One thing that she was, I loved her in Crazy Rich Asians. Oh, it, it could be a little hard to watch if you have a heartbreak, but it is so beautiful, and the scene it's a good, it's just such a solid rom-com, especially the scene when there's someone who's playing the acoustic guitar, and it's the Elvis song. Oh yeah, wise men say only fools love. Oh no, 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 only fools rush in, but I can't Slowly, to darling, so we go. Some things are meant to be. So take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with you. Do, 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 do. That was a weird I was definitely not anticipating singing any part of that. There's just a really good heart to that movie. That scene's so lovely when someone's getting married and that's the wedding song and there's water filling the aisles and little lily pads and little lights and the woman is crying who's looking at Henry Golding, right? The sort of Asian Ken doll. Oh, yeah. I cry. I cry with that. It's good. Rom-coms are good. Very good. Yeah. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. That is actually from, I believe, an essay on criticism by Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope, a neoclassicist writer around the time of Jonathan Swift, if anyone remembers Gulliver's Travels. That has actually stood the test of time. Um, uh, Alexander Pope is if you're not in English literature undergrad or grad classes, you might overlook Alexander. Mr. Pope is someone extraordinary to read poetry and his essays. He did something called landscape poetry. We were talking about onomatopoeia and synesthesia, and his poetry very much engenders and creates that. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with poetry. Poetry, like in a song, right, has a rhythm. It's called versification. The versification of the lines, basically, that is like how syllables will rise and fall. And there's a way that you can actually scan a line and write out how things rise and fall and what it looks like. There's basically per how the line unfolds, there is a certain rhythm to it, and it creates a type of a measure, just like if anyone's familiar with music, music is written out in measures as well. And the measures in poetry create a particular type of poem. For example, Shakespeare, largely in iambic pentameter, not always, and sometimes when the measure or cadence, the rhythm of the line would shift, it would indicate the type of person speaking was maybe more royal or less royal, pain in the ass, a joker, a thief, a liar, someone about to kill someone. It indicates sometimes a shift on a very subtle level that you could understand, when you're reading it, but more plays were meant to be spoken. Poetry largely has been meant to be spoken. Poetry originally in the West, you could say, comes from an oral tradition, like people are very familiar with Homer and the Odyssey, right? So I mentioned Alexander Pope because he literally would write poetry talking about the English. He was an English, meaning from England, poet. He would write his poem in such a way where the words, not just the literal, like using words like mound of dirt, earth, grass, butterfly, tree, the way the words flowed looked like the landscape itself. And I did not discover that myself. Obviously, that's something scholars discovered, particularly Professor or Dr. Richard Wilhelm Kroll, an amazing man. I studied under at UC Irvine, and I also studied under his wife, ex-wife, I should say, Professor Dr. Vicky Silver. But Professor Kroll was an expert in neoclassical poetry, and that is so beautiful. So There's something about that song that I sing a little bit of in a kind of cutesy, silly, bizarre way, where it does flow like a river, just like that scene in Crazy Rich Asians. Such a beautiful film. I don't know. I'm curious if you guys have ever gone through a heartbreak. I mean, for me, I can't touch romantic comedies normally with the 10-foot pole, but sometimes that can be very healing. Um, Listening to love songs too, sometimes or not at all. For me, being very disconnected from all of that helps. Playing death metal. Satan! No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking. What's happening in the comments? Okay. All right. Let's see here. A whore with a heart of gold. Yes. Oh, Barney, I love you. You love me. Yes. That. Yes. That. Thank you. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Won't you be mine? Could you be mine? I need to get an iPad, folks. This is weird, just touching the screen, trying to scroll up and down. Last night, your internet was down, Joyce. I'm sorry. But yeah, we went on a tiny bit of a tangent about Fool's Russian, not just because of the cadence of Alexander Pope's poetry and how it resembled a literal landscape about which writing, but he's famous for that actual phrase, "Fools rush in where angels fear to tread." It's kind of the motto of my life, but it's also this kind of is a little full circle because it goes back to what I mentioned about Ethan Hawke and why he's brilliant, as Sydney aptly said. And especially to creativity, we always can get in our own way. It's important though to do what you feel is right, because sometimes we want to perfect something and put it out into the world with more eyeballs on it, and until we're really ready to stand behind the piece. Because when it goes public, yeah, you might get people tearing into you, and if you aren't ready for that, it could be overwhelming. It could really close you off, and you might be ready to create again for a while. But this is why friends are important. You guys are important to me. I create and create and create, and a lot of it I put on Instagram, and some of it I don't. It's so important to just keep the channel of energy going, keep the flow going. I'm very new to painting, not to singing, not to. Sometimes I like seem like garbage. It's okay, but definitely not to performing. I've been on a stage since I was, 5 or younger, even. But not new to writing. That's my training. But yeah, painting. I really came into that over the pandemic. But I started to do it all the time. I couldn't stop. It was because it was something that I didn't have training in, so I just could do it and not care what anyone thought about it. Most importantly, me. I just got so excited for anything I did. Just something that just resembled anything worthwhile or that I could use for something else. I got so excited about that. And when I was talking with an artist in our group that I helped to host called Sacred Play, a little work, it was basically expressive arts therapy informed, or process art, like where you incubate, like you talk about how you're feeling, what's going on in your lives, things that you've been dreaming about experiencing, like maybe every time you go on a walk, this lizard view, like, what anything that's up, that's in your consciousness, and or even subconscious mind. And you do some breath, you ground yourself, but yeah, you talk about things again that have been visiting you, that are maybe even repeating, that keep grabbing your imagination, your attention, and that you're curious about. And then once we do that, we ground, we communicate. Then I would put on a playlist of music that I kind of intuitively put together before we even had the meeting. I would just kind of feel into what was going on, like where I was at that week. Maybe I'd ask some of my friends in the group, but sometimes it would be solely without talking to anyone. I just felt like, let's do a playlist with mostly opera and classical, or let's do folk rock, or let's do something really political, let's do something really brash and crazy, like rock, even with metal. And it was something different, and it could challenge us, but we would then paint. and be encouraged to paint. Sometimes be talking about like how everywhere I go, I keep seeing teal cars, teal everywhere, teal, teal, teal. So I'm like, well, maybe some of us let's start painting with teal. But we would like use our fingers. We would just grab like one of the girls had like a daughter's ribbon from her hair and just like started using that instead of a paintbrush. And we'd burn things, we'd tear things, and it was really fun. And you would somehow find that all the paintings would just kind of like come together. Like I like, and we were doing it on Zoom. We weren't in person because this was over the pandemic largely. And I'll never forget, like, there was, I was seeing so many grasshoppers around me and crickets and things like this in this painting. I mean, I was practically painting with my eyes closed, and lo and behold, there was this shape, kind of abstracted, nebulous, of like it looked like a grasshopper. And then somebody else was doing like a chicken. And then someone's like, well, chickens eat grasshoppers. And we're like, well, if they're in communication with each other, what do they say? Just interesting, weird things like that would happen. Or one where a spider that had 7 legs had visited me, like literally shown up in my sink that morning. And then the next day, after we all painted together, one of the women in my group, a 7-legged spider, was in her kitchen sink the next morning too. It's just like, what? So freaking weird and so fun. But why I'm sharing this is because creating can be fun. It doesn't have to be to monetize it, to merchandise it, to create a business out of it. Be good, be bad. Like, you're not going to learn unless you make mistakes and you allow yourself to fail and fall on your ass. And one fun thing is that you'll find that extraordinary things come out of that if you believe that what's happening is unfolding in intended timing and actually meant as a part of something, whether it's a breakup, whether it's Ethan Hawke making me crawl on my hands and knees to give him his microphone. He's making fun of me of a sold out audience. Gratefully, it wasn't in the dome. It wasn't like 1,000 people. It was like 400 people, but still, or maybe a little less than that, but still, there's always something that comes out of that experience, and it's just important to keep on keeping on. That reminds me that there's a we sang Cynthia Erivo last time, and the song "Stand Up." It's from the movie Harriet. It's about slavery and it's about Harriet. And there's a line to keep on keeping on, 'cause I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. Sorry, that can get really loud. But yeah, there's a point where she's like to keep on keeping on, and that's it. Just every day, like whatever your art form is, even if like there are days where I'm just so burned out. Yeah, that was part of the song. I couldn't remember the lyrics. Well, no, that was a different song. That was Can't Hurry Love. I forgot the lyrics. But yeah, even if you just like, for example, I paint pine cones. It's a way I de-stress. And I love having sticks and nature things around me. I just painted these the other day. I love color and I love nature. I want nature. I've always wanted to live in a forest by a lake near the ocean. Yes, all three of those things. Once. But even like right now, I'm looking at this pine cone. I'm realizing I missed some spots, and if that's all I can do in my day to just engage with my art, that matters. I think just how can you engage? Like, I know for any of you, if you're a writer, it's fucking hard. Writing is so hard. It takes so much time. It is something that does have to have a fair amount of perfection. It does have to be fairly accurate, grammatically correct. But not necessarily. I mean, there's so many ways to experiment with writing, of course, of course. But just even if you just open up your laptop and save a copy of it to Google Drive. It's just you engaged with your writing. What, were you writing something about a character? Like I was once co-writing a story about two leads named Mary and Henry. And we needed to kind of have an idea of what Henry looked like. Like I had an idea and my co-writer kind of did too, but one of the things that we could do that would be fun to keep us engaged with our art form was like we would just go through magazines. Like we would back when there were Borders. So I mean they're Barnes and Noble still, but we would just go into the magazine section, just have like a fun outing and then just look at magazines and say, do you think Henry looks like this or this or this or this? And that was a way to keep engaged, just keep the process and the flowing, even if you're not 100% quote unquote doing the work of writing or of painting or of knitting. We were talking about knitting earlier, or felting. I'm going to return. I just wanted to share some of that because it's kind of a full circle moment. Where'd our chat go? Hello, chat. Oh, there we are. I'm going to, sorry, flip through some of this, try not to get my little finger too much in the camera. Oh, look, you can see that I have green eyes. Hi. Hello. A lot of people think I have hazel, or I once had blue eyes. Believe it or not, when I was born, my mom said I had blue gray eyes, and then they became more green as I got older. Hey, that could be fun. So yeah, sorry, I'm looking through the comments, and I started talking about Alexander Pope and Fool's Rush In, Angels for You to Tread. There's so many famous things that Alexander Pope said that people don't realize came from like the 18th century. And thank you, Andy. He says I have beautiful green eyes. Likewise, a lot of things, I mean, people obviously know of Shakespeare, of course, but there's certain things that he said that are part of our normal way of speaking that people don't realize come from Shakespeare and the frickin' Renaissance. It's amazing. Chuck and I were talking about Shakespeare the other day. A lot of people think Shakespeare is so sophisticated. It can be challenging for us to, because where are we in 2025? It's like 500 years old. What the first folio came out in in like 1600 or so. Like, it's older English, but it's not so ancient that it's completely disconnected from our current English. But here's the thing: Shakespearean English was English written for the theater, for the stage. Yes, the Queen would sometimes attend, and other, royal types of folks and aristocrats, but largely plays were like our blockbuster movies. It was a form of entertainment for the general public. And yes, of course, there were highfalutin folks who would show up to had a way of talking, not like the peasants. But at the Globe Theater, it was a circle. Everybody could see everyone else. It was very illumined. People would like throw stuff. It was gross. It smelled. And they're yelling and screaming and like interacting even with the actors. But the type of language spoken was really more or less akin to how a lot of people spoke normally. Some people say, oh, that's because English devolves. No, it evolves. Languages evolve. They do become maybe a lot more casual, more spoken English versus, especially now, especially with how education has shifted, especially in the United States. There's a lot of anti-intellectualism in the States. Anyway, I'm saying a lot of this because my first calling in life was as was to be an American literary scholar or an English professor, and I was hoping to go to American Studies, or there are a couple other schools I could have gone to as well for American Studies or English Lit, or even something else altogether, but still in the humanities. But I started to discover I was more of an artist than a scholar, and I didn't know how to live my life. And it's like, oh, well, you get an MFA, so then you could teach, but also perfect your craft. But I was so new to realizing this is what I was. I had never fully allowed myself to work on my craft. You can't get into an MFA program unless you have work to show for yourself. And my undergraduate work was in academic subjects, not exactly arts, except for gospel choir. I did sing. And I was in a modern dance class very briefly, but I had blown out my knee and multiple things as an athlete, so I had to drop, kick modern dance to the sun because my body was tearing apart very quickly. Because I had no idea UC Irvine had a dance department second only to Juilliard. They made me very aware of that and made me drop out very quickly as a result. Because it's hard. Anyway, let's see here. I'm happy. Like, I like bouncing around. I like being a type of narrative storyteller who does kind of go down the river, and you're going down the river and it kind of forks and goes this way, or like in an English landscape garden, very different from a French garden that's very much stamped and definitive and structured. An English landscape garden flows, and you'll be walking, you go around a bend, and ooh, it's like a tiny lake, or you go around another bend, ooh, there's like a little archway, ooh, there's a little church, you discover things. So I love that. And I also remember we are talking about how I can speak circumlocutiously, similar to like how a stand-up comedian works, where you start somewhere and premise in a sense, and then you kind of bring it back full circle like Bill Burr. And there you are, the sandwich in your pocket, if anyone has watched Walk Your Way Out. I'm going to go back to the chat though, just to kind of touch base. Oh, yeah, we've hit the hour mark. We have hit our hour of happy of hour. If you ever have literature questions or humanities questions, any type of question, any question, obviously Hollywood questions, gospel questions. Fun fact, I have been in professional choirs most of my life. I am a gospel soprano. But yeah, let me know. Oh, Andy was in a talent show. He had an Elvis wig. Wow. Some things are meant to be. He got a standing ovation. That is extraordinary. Oh, Andy sing this. And you sing That's Life. Oh, karaoke. How fun. Very cool. Andy was talking about, he asked what song I was going to sing tonight. Well, I've kind of sung a little bit of stand-up from the movie Harriet. It was nominated for an Oscar by Cynthia Erivo. A little bit of Fools Rush In, right? The Elvis song that was in Crazy Rich Asians. I've sung a little bit of Manic Mondays, or AKA Mellow Mondays. Let's see here. Andy got to sing with the college choir with Kenny Rogers. Look at you. There was a crime at a hotel where you once stayed at. Wow, very exciting life. Very exciting, Andy. You do deserve that. Sydney's talking about getting stuck in a downtown Memphis Greyhound bus, and never been to Graceland. I've never been to Graceland. Oh no, I don't want to say that. That's too much information. I have a connection to Elvis, but I will not share it. Oh, you thought I painted a Swedish fish. Just a pine cone. It looks like sperm, sorry. All right. Tim Hawkins. We talked a lot about comedy. Check out Tim Hawkins, okay? Oh, for some reason, I didn't even mention Ali Wong. I mean, her dress that she wore in, why did I want to say Dragon Mother? Oh my God, what the hell is the name of that show? It won a bloody everything. It won, a Peabody, an Emmy, no, her more recent won an Emmy. I think it won a Peabody, and the dress she wore in that was considered so important in American culture, it was put in the Guggenheim. Ali Wong, she's amazing. Always Be Maybe. That's a cute rom-com. I sing Stand Up, and now I can sing Sit Down. That is hilarious. All right. Well, we still have a variety of people watching us. Any last minute requests, questions, ask me anything. And did I go out on a date with Hawk? No. And let's see here. Oh, you got to stand next to Kenny Rogers, Andy, when you sang. That's so lovely. Oh, and people were like, hey, that's Andy. Oh my God. I got to stand next to Francis Ford Coppola when we did a premiere for Now Final Cut. That was a very cool story. I could tell another time. But yeah, I feel like we need to wrap it up. We're over an hour. Again, cheers. I know Jim was having a challenging day. I'm having a challenging day. Here is to us showing up anyway. I think that was kind of the thematic. Just show up and do it anyway. Even if Ethan Hawke is telling you off. Even if you start singing the song and you're off pitch, you don't even know the words. Andy had a challenging day taking care of 7 cats. Good Lord, dude. 7 cats. I have 1. That's more than enough for me. That's really hard. By the way, Galaxy has her own Instagram. Galaxy, I am king. Jesus. Galaxy, I am queen. Oh, Jim had. I'm sorry, Andy. Jim had a challenging day. Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. That is bananas. But yeah, Galaxy I Am Queen. That's her Instagram. I mentioned that because I'm gonna post. I unexpectedly was taking care of a kitten who was less than a pound the other day. I don't think I've ever held and cared for an animal that small and vulnerable and precious. It was so cute. Not even named yet, just new to the world. I sang a song to her. Oh, all right. There you go. This is completely random. Yeah. Imagine Galaxy in her own YouTube show with her own, yeah, having hissy fits. Cooking with catnip. That actually would be a great name to her channel. Cooking with catnip. Galaxy. Yeah. I think of really cute because I did just sing a song for this little tiny baby kitty. And this could be a good way to sign off a little song we'll just sing to you guys generally, not to the little meow meow, the meow meow version. All right. We'll get, because I'm going to be talking about a sunshine. I have my sunglasses on. All right. I will have a happy 4th of July, but until then, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray, sometimes like today, even if it was sunny. You'll never know, my dears, how much I love you. Thanks for being my sunshine today. Yay. Yay. Yes, I changed the last lyric because it gets grim, honestly. That wasn't particularly sung with any zhuzhing. That was super straightforward. Because I do like to do my little runs, my little Beyonce, Cynthia Erivo runs that I don't do too quite as well as they do, but or at all. But I love you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jem, for showing up. May you find rest after taking care of 7 cats. Thank you, Sydney, for being here and part of our coterie of friends at the Sacred Spheres. Heart. Don't forget to follow Mr. Chuck Transfield at Chuck Transfield. And he's at Mystic Soul Insights. I love you too, Chuck. I love you, Sydney. Love you, Andy. Love you, Joyce. I don't know who else is here. Pam, maybe Jim still. Jason, love you, Jim. Again, may you rest well, everyone. Even if you're not happy, someone is somewhere in the world. Thank you so much for just being present, for showing up. That's all we can do in this wonderful, wild world of ours. I'm glad I could share my space ones with you. Horizontal life. And how about this one? There we go. A very big hug. I love you. Sometimes, actually, this helps elevate dopamine. Just do a little, yeah, somewhere in the world it's 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Yeah, glug, glug. Sip, sip. Yeah, even just doing this gives us a little bit of love. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to send me an email. It's in my description for my channel. It's also the Sacred Spheres at gmail.com. Blessings to all. Thank you for joining me. Stay tuned because we have Hump Day on Wednesday. That is when we're going to get our hump on. Please join us for 7 p.m. on Wednesday. It is going to be fun. It'll be something sexy, some silly, something maybe about celebrities and crushes. I don't know. It'll be something in that vein. It'll be so much fun. I can't wait to see you then. Maybe I went on my date with to her smell. Ooh. All right. I love you. Have a good night. See you for Hump Day, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the man in the boat. Please hit the bell so you know when we go live. Love you. See you next Wednesday. See you in 2 days. See you Wednesday. And of course, have a happy 4th if I don't see you until then. Bye, everyone. Yay, 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 yay. Have a good night. Bye. See you soon. See you Wednesday for Hump Day.